Descended in the room when the captains all entered the room. Such is their impressiveness. But anyway, welcome to the hurling, and we're looking ahead once again, this traditional venue, to the RBS Six Nations, the RBS Women's Six Nations. And we have here for you the trophies on display. We have the Under-20s trophy, we have the Women's trophy. The Men's trophy is somewhere, is it in front of me? I should have checked on this. Yes, there it is, professional in all aspects. We also have the Triple Crown and the Player of the Year. So all the trophies up for grabs this year, and we expect it and hope that they are both great tournaments. We will be speaking to all of the captains in just a little while up here on stage, and then the procedure is, as you know, they will speak to you individually for the written press, for radio, for television, and there will, as ever, be a chance for you to speak to them then. But first of all, we should remind ourselves a little bit of what happened last year in the RBS Men's and Women's Six Nations.
Men out wide, Murray doesn't use them, Murray gets there! And here is Hall, looking to show that pace. Off the floor it goes, and Barkley is in. Didn't panic, pressed all the right buttons there.
Alison Moore takes, there's a bit of space here, she's through the middle, she's got pace.
Maxime Meda for the line, he scores, the fullback! This is Terry Garcia showing his strength. Oriente knocks the off to give it a hit.
They've got options off Webb. They're getting the ball in the front foot. Now gives it to the big man, and Launchbury is there, and it's Cruz who gets over for the try! They want far more. Wide it goes now, Hunt just flips it on Fisser, what skill with a finish!
Watson for England! Is that the try that seals the Grand Slam?
Two great championships. I certainly enjoyed the fact that my one piece of commentary was me initially identifying George Cruz as Joe Launchbury. I enjoyed that. Good stuff. Anyway, so RBS have put on a great show here, and they have done for many years in the Six Nations. So I'd like to hear now from our sponsor, Alison Rose, to say a few words.
Thank you, Andrew, and a very warm welcome to the RBS Six Nations media launch. I feel very privileged to be representing RBS here today in what is our last of 15 years as the title sponsor of RBS Six Nations Championship. We've been honoured to be at the heart of the championship for these many years, and there are so many moments to celebrate. The millions of fans cheering across the globe, the thousands of points scored by the teams, the hundreds of matches, and the inspirational players and coaches who've represented all the nations in this tournament. We leave very proudly knowing that we've built strong equity in rugby, and the game continues to reach new heights. And one of the many benefits that we have as RBS in our association with Six Nations is the pride our staff and our customers feel in being associated with this championship. However, we leave knowing our partnership with rugby will continue both at the grassroots level and at the top level. At a local level, RB Force, which has supported over 1,000 clubs across the UK, providing mentoring, sponsorship, grants and advice to local clubs, means that we're ensuring the future of that grassroots level continues and the clubs have all the support and advice they need to be successful. We will also continue to support at the top level rugby through our support and partnerships with the English, Irish, Scottish and Welsh rugby unions. So to conclude, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Six Nations Rugby Limited, who we've worked closely with and successfully over the many years. The players and the coaches who compete in the Six Nations, not just those who are here today, but those who have played across the tournament for the past 15 years. Not only have they given us a fantastic and exhilarating set of tournaments, they have embodied the values of teamwork and sportsmanship. And finally, to the media, thank you for your continued support and profile of this wonderful tournament and game. I'd like to now to hand over to the Chairman of the Six Nations Council, Pat Whelan. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honour to be standing here today as Chairman of Rugby's greatest championship, the RBS Six Nations, and to welcome you to our media launch. 2016 provided plenty of drama, with England claiming a Grand Slam for the first time since 2003. Now, Grand Slams are a very rare accomplishment, and we can be sure that this time around all of their opponents will do everything to ensure that there is no repeat of that success. This year's championship will for the first time see the trial of a new bonus point system. The feasibility of introducing a bonus point system has been under consideration for quite some time, but we needed to ensure that whatever system was selected would work with the already proven structure of the championship and would serve to materially improve what we already had. We believe that this initiative will enhance the competition as a spectacle for teams, fans, broadcasters, and everyone for whom this championship is so dear to. As far as women's international rugby is concerned, it is becoming increasingly more popular, and the Women's Six Nations Championship is growing every year. We are looking forward to some phenomenal rugby from these very talented athletes. In a new development, the women's game this year, for the first time ever, all 15 matches of the Women's Championship will be produced for broadcast, and fans in each country will be able to watch all of their team's matches, home and away, live on television, online, and to a very high quality standard of production. A new logo has been designed to give the Women's Championship its own identity, and they will have their own dedicated digital channels as well. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our sponsors, RBS, Accenture, Guinness and Tissot, for their work and indeed their great support over the years. I would particularly like to thank RBS, who will be concluding this year after 15 years of involvement and tremendous support for the Six Nations Championship. In addition, our broadcasters are an integral part of the success and popularity of the championship. We would like to thank BBC, ITV, RTE, DMAX and French Television for their excellent coverage and support of rugby's greatest championship. I would also like to thank all media outlets, online and offline, who cover the championship and provide perfect coverage both in the build-up and during all the matches. Our event would not be what it is without your support. I also wish to thank the Six Nations staff who work tirelessly and very hard every year to ensure the Six Nations continues to strive. And the only thing left for me to say is best wishes to everybody who is involved and good luck to all the teams. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Alison. Thank you as well to not just the captains who turned up today, but all the coaches. A very, very busy time in their schedule getting ready for the championship. So we thank you, and we're going to hear from them now. First of all, the women's captains, if you could come to the stage in the following order. From Wales, Caris Phillips. England, Sarah Hunter. Scotland's Lisa Martin. Sara Baratin of Italy. Gal Mignot of France. And Niamh Briggs of Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the captains of the Women's Six Nations. This is always the bit that the captains look forward to most of all, and indeed me. So we'll start, I suppose we'll have to start with the defending champions, and Gael. We have a translator for Gael. So champions, a tremendous honour to be champions, but does it bring with it extra pressure?
Donc Gaëlle, être championne, être tenante du titre, c'est merveilleux. Est-ce que cela signifie davantage de pression pour vous?
C'est pas une pression supplémentaire, toutes les années sont différentes. Forcément, on est hyper motivé pour essayer de conserver le titre parce que le gagner 2 fois d'affilée, c'est toujours très difficile et on travaille dur pour remplir nos objectifs.
Neve's already laughing at me, nodding, but I could do this myself, but I'm just, because we've got a translator.
Please.
Yeah, she says, extra pressure, terrified. So no, please, the actual answer.
No real extra pressure. Every year is different. Obviously, we are extremely motivated. Trying to win it a second time running will be very hard work.
And a very difficult game first up, obviously, to go to Twickenham.
Et votre premier match difficile, vous allez à Twickenham.
C'est toujours une rencontre très difficile, Angleterre-France, et c'est un grand honneur de pouvoir jouer dans un stade comme Twickenham, et du coup on travaille encore plus dur pour être à la hauteur de l'événement puisque c'est une grande équipe.
Yes, it is always difficult to meet England. It is an honor to meet them, and especially to go to Twickenham, which is an extraordinary stadium. So we will work even harder.
Okay, let's go to your opponents. Thank you very much, Niamh Gall and Sarah. No translation necessary, thankfully. But, I mean, England used to rule this tournament, but for the last few years it's been shared by Ireland and France. There must be a real desire for you and your team to get back up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it shows just where the women's game is, the fact that any one of the teams can go on and win it. And we've stated the fact that this year we've sort of come close to France last year in that close content, the Six Nations decider. We want to go one better, and it's going to be a hell of a tournament, and we know each team will pose their own challenges, and we'll have to take France up first, which at Twickenham, we love playing at the home of English rugby, and we can't wait to get that one under our belt before we even think about what lies ahead. It's definitely one game at a time for us.
Well, we've talked about it a lot, and the profile of the women's game is increasing, and for you to be sort of sharing the same, not literal stage, but stage when you're playing rugby is a huge thrill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we want to showcase the women's game, and I mean the fact that the organising committee have got the games live on TV is fantastic, and then to be showcased alongside the men's game and open ourselves up to a new audience by those people that come to watch the men's game stay around to watch ours, and a different audience come in afterwards because it's free to come in. It's fantastic, and we want to be playing more games like that where we're sharing the same space for us to showcase the game.
Sarah, thank you very much. To Niamh and the end for Ireland, we mentioned obviously good success in the last 4 years, a couple of titles for Ireland. I mean, how have preparations been though? Because there were a couple of heavy defeats in November and a recent loss to Wales as well.
Yeah, I think obviously we've had some really, really good years, and we'll start to reap the benefits of that with lots of new caps coming along. I think November showed that. Obviously results didn't go our way, but we came up against three really, really good sides and three of the top sides in the world as such. So yeah, I think we learned a lot from those defeats, and that we have to take that forward now. We have to learn from it, as I said, and hopefully then we can have a good Six Nations.
And again, most people in here will know, but it's a very different setup. There are some full-time professional players in the women's game, but for you, there's the job. You have an understanding job as a policewoman, and you're understanding employers that let you get away and play your rugby.
Yeah, I think I'm very fortunate to be able to do that, and but I'm not the only one. I think across the board in our squad we have doctors and students and teachers and stuff, and you're trying to balance both, I think, and sometimes it can be very difficult, and it's just another challenge that we have to meet. And I think, in fairness to the girls, that they've really put it's obviously a huge year for us, and in terms of what's coming ahead, so they've really put it at the forefront of their minds.
Well, your first game is against Scotland, and Lisa, things are certainly, I mean, it has been difficult for Scotland over the last few years, no victories, but again, the investment is now happening in Scottish women's rugby, and do you get a sense of that things are becoming more professional?
Oh, for sure, especially starting from last year with Shade coming in as being our full-time coach. That started the ball rolling, and with the investment that's been put into our BT academies as well, we've got 15 of our most promising players reaping the benefits of the coaching and the training there. So we're getting our S&C, our skills, and you're seeing that getting produced on the pitch as well. And it's just getting those systems in place to build for the future. At the end of the day, we need to get our top level work into the best it can to then inspire the younger generations to strive to be where we are, be the players that we are as well.
So what would be a successful Six Nations for Scotland then? Do you look at results, or do you look at performances?
We've got to look at performances. At the end of the day, that's what we control. We control how we play on the pitch, and if our performances are going well, and if we're being consistent, then that's when the results are going to happen. We can't look ahead and say we're going to target XYZ game because that's unnecessary pressure. We're just going to look at how we can perform and how we can perform better.
Excellent. Well, best of luck, he said neutrally. If I could turn to Sara Baratin as well, and we have a translator as well because my Italian is very, very poor. But Sara, have preparations been difficult? The Italian women's team hasn't played as many games, internationals, as some other countries.
I preparativi sono stati difficili quest'anno perché la nazionale italiana ha giocato meno partite di altre squadre.
Diciamo che ogni anno noi facciamo meno partite di loro e questo insomma non ci ha mai spaventato, anche perché sono convinta che io e le mie compagne di squadra ci siamo allenate al massimo in questo periodo.
This is something that happens to us every year, but it's not something that scares us. Myself and my teammates have been training very hard over the time, so we're well prepared.
Okay, and what, again, as I asked Lisa, what would be a successful Six Nations for Italy? Do you set yourself targets as a squad?
Avete degli obiettivi come squadra? Che cosa sarebbe per voi un 6 nazioni di successo? Con quali obiettivi?
Meglio sempre non fare pronostici, affrontiamo una partita alla volta e iniziamo col Galles in casa e quindi partire subito bene sarebbe importante.
It's better not to raise your hopes too much, not to be too ambitious. We train for every match, one match at a time. We start with Wales and we really hope and trust that we'll do well.
Okay, thank you. Grazie mille. Actually, the look on a sports person's face at a stupid question crosses all international boundaries. So, thank you very much. Indeed, right, to Caris. Caris, Wales are going well. I mean, four wins under the old man. So, good preparation. So, real hopes of a first title.
Yeah, so we've just recently come back from Ireland, where we come from a win, which is massive confidence for us because we know that Ireland are one of the best teams in the world at the minute. But same as everyone else, we're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves. We still know that we've got a lot of work to do before the Six Nations because it's a real tough competition to play in.
And for the women, with the World Cup changing years, excitement in this year, not just for the Six Nations, but looking beyond to the World Cup in Ireland.
Yeah, definitely. Ireland's got great facilities as well, as we've seen the other day. But we're going to use Six Nations as well to see what kind of squad we've got and just build momentum from there going into a massive competition at the end.
Well, Caris, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to all of you for sharing your thoughts up here. Again, they will be available for interviews with written press and radio and television afterwards. But thank you once again to Lisa, to Sarah, to Caris, and to Sarah, to Gael, and to Niamh at the end, chuckling away. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed to all our captains of the Women's Six Nations. And if I could invite the men up onto the stage now, Greg Laidlaw and Dylan Hartley, Alan Wynne-Jones and Sergio Parisi, Guillaume Guirado and Rory Best to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Bienvenue. Dylan, let's start with the champions then, start with England, and obviously preparations for you have been very, very different, but I've been reading that you're as fit as ever. Obviously you're raring to go, but how quickly do you think you can settle back into things?
We did this last year, talking about me. I'm here on behalf of the team. The team's preparing well. Couple of days in Portugal, the weather's good. The challenge is we've got to use this week as best as we can to get the preparation right for a huge first game. So yeah, day of recovery today for the guys, and 2 more big days tomorrow. Talking
as a team then, as a squad, because the depth of the English squad is being tested quite a bit at the moment, as happens for all rugby squads, but there certainly have been a number of injuries. Yeah, I mean, last year, you know, there was a lot of column inches about Maro Itoje, George Cruz, Jack Noel, Anthony Watson. We didn't have these guys, but with that, you know, opportunity comes for others. We see people like Johnny May coming back into the team, Joe Launchbury, Courtney Laws, taking those opportunities, and very much the same now. You know, rugby, week in, week out, injuries happen, and we're in a good place. We've got good depth, we've got a good squad, and competition brings the best out of the team, I think. Excellent. Well, best of luck, Dylan, to your first opponents. Guillaume Guirado here for France, again, the translation. But Guillaume, last season was not a good Six Nations for France, but again, some decent results in November against New Zealand, against Australia. Not results, performances. So is there more confidence in the French squad that this Six Nations is going to be better?
Forcément, nous avons été assez frustrés et déçus par rapport à l'issue du tournoi des Six Nations de l'année dernière. Parce qu'on avait quand même pourtant bien commencé par 2 victoires courtes mais précieuses contre nos proches italiens et irlandais. Et on est resté vraiment très déçus par rapport à cette victoire, qu'on n'a pas pu gagner cette victoire contre les Anglais. Parce qu'on avait mis beaucoup de cœur pour se racheter un peu de nos défaites contre les autres équipes. Et du coup, on a continué à grandir et à construire notre équipe. Et on espère que les matchs qu'on a pu faire contre les 2 meilleures équipes du top 3, que ce soit la Nouvelle-Zélande et l'Australie, nous auront apporté pour bien préparer ce début du tournoi Destination qui s'annonce très, très difficile chez les Anglais qui sont quand même invaincus depuis l'année 2016, donc très important.
How's your shorthand down there at the front?
It's very good, thank you.
Okay, excellent.
So yes, we were very frustrated last year at the Six Nations. We had a good start with 2 victories against Italy and Ireland, but we were extremely disappointed not to be able to win against England after 2 defeats against the other teams. So we have built our team from that. And we have created a good hope in the autumn with good matches against 2 of the top 3 teams, Australia and New Zealand. And this really helped us prepare very well for this Six Nations, which is going to be a difficult tournament, especially because we start against England, which has been playing very well for the past few years.
Yes, thank you. Well, you answered just about everything in that answer, so that's enough. Ça suffit. Thank you very much indeed, Guillaume. Right, Alan Wynne-Jones. I mean, you've captained Wales on 5 sort of one-off occasions. You've captained the Lions, but we see you during the anthems and see how much it means to you. It must be a tremendous privilege to be leading your side out in the RBS Six Nations.
Yeah, I've had a fleeting experience, I suppose, in the few caps that I've had. So to be named is pretty special for me, but. Yeah, it's not the passing of a baton. I think it's the evolution of the team, hopefully, and the growth that we can have moving forward.
Does being captain inspire you, and what might your sort of captaining style be? Leading by example, I suppose, is the way that most forwards would lead their side.
Yeah, I think I'm fortunate enough. I think quite a few guys in the team will know my pros and cons. Hopefully there's less cons. But most of the guys know enough about me, as do the coaching staff. So if I feel I need to change anything, then I'm not doing the right job. So it's very much continuing the same vein for myself.
How is the feeling in the squad at the moment? Because there were some good, some bad in November, and obviously things very, very different this year when Warren Gatland goes off to work in the Lions and Rob Howley's here. But how is the squad feeling leading up to the Six Nations?
Well, I think we're in a pretty decent place. I think it was a positive autumn. We can always do better. Everybody involved in the sport can say that about whatever game. But we've got a sprinkling of new caps as well that's going to put a bit of energy and young blood into the squad. And with regards to the Gats being away, it's something we've experienced before. It's a case of, over to you, Rob, and we'll crack on.
Excellent. Your first opponents are Italy and Sergio Parise here again. Once more to the Six Nations. I mean, you've done it so many times before, but do you still get the same buzz, the same excitement going into this championship?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited every time to play this tournament. So for me and even for the Italian, it's a huge honor to be part of this competition. So yeah, mentally fresh, physically I hope fresh as well. So really looking forward to start this competition.
And he is obviously sitting there, so it'd be nice. But how's Conor O'Shea settled into things? Oh, there was a great November with that win over South Africa.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we started a new chapter of our history with Conor O'Shea, and obviously the win against South Africa was awesome for the team, but was awesome also for all the Italian players, all the Italian fans and supporters. But we still be an issue. We must to change a few things to be really competitive with continuity. So it's our challenge for this Six Nations, be performing every single match. Results can happen, victories can come, but we want to be by 80 minutes every single match competitive, and we have 5 big nations in front of us, and for us every single match is going to be a huge challenge.
Thank you, Sergio. Greg Laidlaw alongside, and Scotland obviously have, I think there's a bit of excitement about Scottish rugby at the moment, but I know you get sick of talking about it, performances and coming so close, that it's results that matter. And the first game up against Ireland, Scotland haven't got off to great starts in the Six Nations in recent years.
Yeah, we've not, Andrew, in the past, and it's something clearly we've got to need to change if we've got to progress well in the tournament. I think, look back to November, we played really well against Australia and we just came up short, and then we probably never played as well against Argentina, but we managed to win. And I think that's where we're trying to certainly take this team, is probably when we're not quite 100%, we can still win games. And I think we're developing players, strength and depth throughout the squad. I think Vern's done that over the last 3 years, and I think we're starting to reap the benefits of that now. If players get injured, the next player to step in behind them gives us just as much.
But there is that buzz. I mean, Glasgow, Edinburgh going well, Glasgow in particular, and there are players in certain positions now that create some excitement, and obviously it's Vern's last time as coach as well. So these are interesting times in Scottish rugby.
Yeah, they are. We're excited about going into the Championship. I think the manner in which Glasgow qualified for the Champions Cup was brilliant, and the players that have came in have brought a lot of confidence into the squad, and we're trying to spread that confidence throughout the squad, because we'll need that. Coming up against Rory and the Irish boys first up there, obviously going pretty well themselves with some good wins in November, and clearly we'd like to see Vern off with a great Championship, because he's given this team a lot of confidence. I truly believe he's moved it forward, and all the players really respect him. So it's exciting times. So we've just got to work hard and see what happens.
Thank you, Greg, and to Rory. I mean, Greg touched upon it there. Exciting times for Scottish rugby, but Irish rugby is certainly going well. You've got the provinces going well again, and a win over New Zealand and Chicago, and then a win over Australia. So there must be a huge amount of buoyancy in the Irish squad.
Yeah, there is. I think certainly 3 of the 4 provinces are going very well in Europe.
So
one of them not so much. But I think the big thing for us is that we keep moving forward. And we keep trying to build on what we did in November. With a couple of good results, a couple of good performances, but I think the big thing for us is we know that's in the past, and we've seen what the Scottish boys have done, not only in November, but the way the clubs are going in Europe. So for us, we know it's going to be a massive challenge to go to Merrifield. It's a very, very tough place to go and perform and to go and win, and that's really all we're concentrating on. We're trying to keep moving forward and keep improving.
I'll ask you this sort of on behalf of everybody almost, but I mean, how much are you working on the new tackle laws and how sensitive referees are going to be to things, but also in the bonus points as well, because I don't say that changes the way you play, but it certainly might affect your mentality a little bit during games.
Yeah, I think with the tackle, I think certainly as long as I've played, you've never been able to tackle somebody around the head anyway. So look, it's just it's a new thing. They're putting more emphasis on it, so we'll take a long, hard look at it and make sure that within the laws of the game that we can implement our defence and make sure our defence is as watertight as possible without conceding obviously penalties, but yellow cards and in some cases red cards. So look, we need to make sure that we don't get too carried away with it, but that we make sure that the safety of the game is obviously paramount for everyone. But and I think it's important that word is spread. In terms of the bonus point system, look, first and foremost, you have to prepare to go out and win a game. And it doesn't change how we'll go out to prepare. We go out, we go to try to play rugby, and we go to win games in that scenario. And I think certainly from a captain's point of view, it doesn't really become as big a deal until maybe later in the game, whenever you're always trying to separate the score anyway. And then it becomes about maybe denying a point or trying to get a point. But look, first and foremost, you try to win the game.
Thank you very much indeed to Rory, to all our captains for coming along today for the women's and the men's, to Alan Jones, to Dylan Hartley, Greg Laidlaw, Rory Best, Sergio Panissi, Guillaume Guirado as well, and the best of luck to all the countries in the Six Nations. But once again, a round of applause for all our captains and coaches for coming along today. So it's not too far away. The first weekend, just a couple of weeks away. Again, we look forward to it with huge anticipation. Again, a reminder of the format now. There will be interviews done for written press and radio and television outside in your separate rooms. Thanks again to everybody for coming along, not just to the coaches and the captains, but to the media as well. So we look forward to enjoy it, wherever you are watching the RBS Six Nations. Thank you very much indeed.